بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم
وعليكم
السلام.
السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Okay, let's dive into, inshallah, ayah number 20. So after today, alhamdulillah, everybody will have done 2/3 of the surah and there's only 10 ayahs to go. So you can see how close you are to getting to the end of this surah, inshallah. May Allah allow all of us to see it to the end and allow us to reach its completion. And may Allah accept it from us. May Allah put barakah in it for us. May Allah make it something which is a means which is for our entering Jannatul Firdaus and not something which is against us on Yawm al-Qiyamah. Ameen. Okay, starting with the verse number 20. Now, the first verse is actually quite, for this one, I know it's long, but I do want to try and recite the whole thing because of the meaning. It makes more complete sense to say the whole thing. So we will try. If you do find you do need to kind of course, if you have to stop out of necessity, you can do that. So if you do need to stop, you can stop out of compulsion, but then you can't start with the next word. He will repeat, at least minimum is to repeat the word that you've said. And if you do understand the Arabic, then you go back to a place which makes more sense. But in this case, wherever you stop, it kind of makes best sense to start right from the beginning again. So just repeat the word that you said and then carry on, inshallah. Okay, so let's start with the isti'adha, Sister Syra. If I can start with you. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
Okay, when you say mina shay, I want you to sort of let the ya, mina shay, the shaytan, keep the ya just running, and then keep it running, and then go into the ta. Okay, so no gap in between. Mina shaytanir rajim.
من الشيطان الرجيم.
That's better. You've got a little bit of a gunna when you're saying the ta. So when you say ta, it shouldn't be ta, ta. See, that's from the nose. Ta. So just make sure that when you say ta, don't keep your lips too small. I know it is an itbaq letter, and we did say yesterday that for the itbaq letters, don't open your mouth too much, but you don't want to keep it. It may be that you're keeping it closed a little bit. You're going slightly the other way, therefore you're relying on your nose. So just open your mouth maybe just a little bit more. الشيطان الرجيم.
الشيطان الرجيم.
Say it on its own for me. طا.
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 That's better. الشيطان الرجيم.
الشيطان الرجيم.
Again, الشي. And then once you get to the shay, I want you to think about, just think about what am I doing for the ta again. Let the voice out. Don't let it go up through the nose. الشيطان الرجيم.
الشيطان الرجيم.
There's a little bit still there, but inshallah, keep practicing that, inshallah, and it will go. When you're practicing, Sister Syra, make sure that you first say the ta, 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 ta. Make sure you're not saying ta, ta, right? So once you got the ta, then you put it into the word. Okay? Inshallah. Okay, if I can get Sister Radhiya to say the Basmala, please. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Just remember when the last bit. Remember the ra. Finish the ra first, then say the him. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
We'll do that one more time. So when you're saying Bismillahir Rahmanir Ra, finish the ra, then start the him. Okay. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
It's a little bit better. Just keep going, inshallah, with that. Allah bless you. Okay. The next one, inshallah. So we're going to try the whole ayah. Well, it's not the whole ayah. The first top line up until this gene here, inshallah. Sister Salma, if you can say it after me. So we'll have to take a deep breath. There are bits that we're sort of holding. أَمَّنْ هَذَا الَّذِي هُوَ جُنْدٌ لَكُمْ يَنْصُرُكُمْ مِنْ دُونِ الرَّحْمَنِ
أَمَّنْ هَذَا الَّذِي هُوَ جُنْدٌ لَكُمْ يَنْصُرُكُمْ مِنْ دُونِ الرَّحْمَنِ.
Jazakumullahu khairan. Alhamdulillah. Okay, let's do the quick breakdown. So here, first of all, we have a meme mushaddad. Okay, this is your meme with the shadda. This has the longest gunna. It's an akmal gunna. So we hold this for a long time. Say amman, amman. The noon here is followed by a ha. So this is your idhar halqi. Okay, it's an idhar, which means you're pronouncing the noon clearly and distinctly. You finished at the wasat of the noon, then you go on to the ha. Okay, amman hadha. Okay, both the ha and the dhal, you'll notice, have got a alif mad after them. Now, I know one is a saghira letter, one's a small one, and one is a normal big alif. It doesn't matter in terms of how you're pronouncing them. They will still be both pronounced the same length of time. Okay, there'll still be 2 counts for the ha, 2 counts for the dhal. So we need that balance here. But the 2 counts for the dhal is only if you're stopping. If you were saying hadha, if you're not and you're going to carry on reading, which is what we're doing here. So let me get rid of this second 2, which we don't want. So in that case, what we're doing is we're moving from the dhal to the lam. Okay. The reason, because if you've learned this is iltiqa as-sakinain, you have a sukoon on the alif and a sukoon in the shadda of the lam, and therefore the solution here is hadaf. We drop the alif and we don't read it. So we do not say hadhal, hadhal, hadhal. You go straight for you don't prolong the dhal. Okay, you go straight for the lam. After saying هذا الذي, we have this ya mad after the dal. So again, this is going to be prolonged for 2 counts. We have to remember that the wasat of the lam, هذا الذي. Okay, don't rush. Remember we said we don't say هذا الذي. هذا الذي. You hold the lam just for a little bit. Then you say the fatha of the lam. Okay. We have to make sure the kasra is right for the dal. When you say the. Then we have the word huwa. Huwa, we have to try and to give full attention to both the ha and the waw. Huwa. We don't say huwa, for example. Huwa. Make sure you're putting the pressure on the lips for the waw and complete the waw. So make sure your lips come out wa as you say the waw. Don't just cut off as when your mouth just opens a little bit. Don't just stop and say wa, for example. Huwa, right? Huwa, wa. Finish the complete movement. We have now, I'm going to discuss the ikhfas. We have an ikhfa here, which is your noon sakin followed by your dal. We have another of the same ikhfa haqiqi again here, which is your noon sakin followed by your sad. And then we have another one where we have noon sakin followed by the dal. These are all ikhfa haqiqi. Okay, now there is a difference here. So we have the one here, which is a light, we call it a light gunna. And so is this one here. This is also a light gunna. The one in the middle is your heavy gunna. Okay, how do we know whether an ikhfa has a heavy or a light gunna? It depends on the letter after the noon. So here after the noon we have a dal. Dal is a light letter, it's going to be a light gunna. In the middle one we have the noon sakin. The letter after is sad. We know sad is a heavy letter, therefore the gunna is heavy. And in min dun we have the noon sakin followed by a dal. The dal is also a light letter, so your ikhfa is going to be light. Okay. So the reason the letter after the noon affects the heaviness or the lightness is because for the ikhfa, remember, you're preparing for that next letter. Your tongue is going, or your tongue or your lips or wherever the second letter comes from, your tongue is getting ready for that letter. Okay, and when it gets ready for that letter, it's in that position. If it's a light letter, your tongue or your lips are in a light position, That makes the gunna light. If the next letter is a heavy letter, your tongue is getting ready for a heavy letter, and that makes the gunna sound heavy because you're in a heavy position. Okay, so the first one, so I'm going to say them both just so you can hear the difference. We have here the word jun. I'm going to say jundul lakum. Here we say jun, jun. You'll notice that my lips move out for the to get ready for the dal, because dal is light. So I move like this. I say ju. I need to circle lips for the dhamma. Ju, jun, jun. If I stay there, it'll be jun. It sounds different. Jun, jun sounds different to jun. See, the jun sounds much lighter. That's what you want. Okay. What about the heavy one? For the heavy one, when you say yang su, now for this one, your lips are not going to come out, because coming out is often for light letters. At this time, it's going to get ready for a heavy sad. Right? Remember, for the sad, we said the back of the tongue kind of goes back and it kind of pushes a little bit back at the same time. So you feel a slight squeeze at the very top part of your throat, right at the back. Okay, you'll feel a slight movement, pushing of the tongue backwards, and it'll be lifted. Okay, so you'll go yang yang. See, my lips are not coming. I'm not saying yang. I'm saying yang yang. Yang. I'm letting go. The ya I want to be light, but then I'm letting go to get ready for the heavy letter. Yang. The back of the tongue is up. Okay. My tip of my tongue is very close to the makhraj of the sad, so behind the bottom two teeth, but I'm not touching there yet. Okay. I'm just ready for the sad, but I'm not reading the sad yet. Yang su. Yang surukum. Okay, so that's how you want to say. And now if I say them both, if you listen very carefully to the gunna, you should hear a difference between the way that this first one is recited, this one here, and this one over here. So the first one will be juan, juan, nice and light. Juan. The second one is yang, yang, juan, yang, juan, yang. So you should be able to hear the difference in the lightness and the heaviness. And then when you come to the third one, again, this is a light one, and this time instead of it's exactly the same as the first one in terms of the letters. So we have, in the first one we have nun sakin followed by a dal, and we have the same again. So again, you go back to the original, how we said the first one, min dun, min dun, min, nice and light. Okay, and remember, you have to keep that gap. The reason you are getting ready for the next letter, but you're not touching it yet, is because you need that gap. Let me just remind you. If I go to, oh, I haven't opened it today. Never mind. Okay. Remember, we said that we need that gap between the tongue. We need that space between where the tongue hits the makhraj of the dal. If you have that small gap, the sound can travel through there. Okay, so min. If I press on it, it'll be min, which sounds very different. Min jun is incorrect. You want min jun, so the sound is still coming through the mouth. Okay. Okay, then followed by that we have a tanween here, which is followed by the letter lam. So this is your lam is part of your yarmalun. So here we have the rule of idgham, and this is idgham kamil. It is a complete merge, okay, and it is without gunna. Okay, it has no gunna. In other words, the noon that you hear when you say dun, that noon right at the end, dun, that noon is going to go completely and become a letter lam. You're going to replace that with a letter lam. There's going to be no sound through the nose. That's why the gunna's gone, and you're not even touching the makhraj of the noon. So you're saying juan dulla, 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 juan dullakum. Okay, juan dullakum. So here you are not hearing the noon after at all. Okay. we have the meme followed by the ya. This is again your izhar shafawi. Okay, this is again pronounce the meme clearly to complete its tawassut. Go on to the next letter. Lakum ya, lakum ya. Okay, we've done the ikhfa haqiqi. The ra here is quite simple because we said that when it has a haraka at the top, then it's going to be heavy. So this ra is heavy. Then we have here meme followed by meme. This is your idgham mutamathilan. Mutamathilan. Okay, so here you're holding the longest. You know how we held the memes with the shadda? This meme is held the same for the same amount of time. Yansurukum min. Okay, you hold it for the longest amount of time. That is then followed by your ikhfa rule. After doing your ikhfa, you have to say do for 2 counts. Now you have to be careful here because when you have the gunna here, when you're saying min, the next part, you shouldn't have any gunna. And it's very easy to actually do that. It's very easy to say min do, but you want to say min do. For that part, the sound only comes through the mouth. Okay. And then finally, you have the movement from the noon to the ra. This is the ra here because it has a, remember we said when it has a shadda, it doesn't matter. Both ras will be pronounced the same depending on the haraka you see. So we have here a fatha. So this one, both ras will be heavy. Dunir rahman. Okay. And then we stop, of course, with a noon sakin. Okay, we're going to try this again. Sister Salma, we'll try that one more time, and then inshallah, I'll just see if I can get one other person to read it as well. أَمَّنْ هَذَا الَّذِي هُوَ جُندٌ لَكُمْ يَنْصُرُكُم مِّن دُونِ الرَّحْمَنِ
أمن هذا الذي هو جند لكم هو sorry
That's okay.
هو جند let me start again أمن هذا الذي هو جند لكم ينصركم من دون الرحمن.
Just be careful of how your mouth's moving for the ikhfa when you say juan. Remember, you got to bring it back. Juan do, right? Juan, sorry, juan do lakum. Because when you're saying juan, you want to make it sound lighter. The lips should come back. Let's try that one more time. Juan do lakum.
جند لكم.
Not bad.
لكم لضمة.
Okay, I'm going to ask, inshallah, Auntie Nasreen, we'll have a go at this as well, inshallah. أَمَّنْ هَذَا الَّذِي هُوَ جُندٌ لَكُمْ يَنْصُرُكُم مِّن دُونِ الرَّحْمَنِ
أَمَّنْ هَذَا الَّذِي هُوَ جُندٌ لَكُمْ ينصركم من دون الرحمن.
Okay, so just about, I want to mention 3 things. So the first one is the lam. Let me just clear everything here so that we can focus on what we're doing, inshallah. So the first one is the lam. So this one here, I need the fatha to be correct. So dulla lakum. Okay. The other one is the ra here. Making sure the one when you're saying the fatha is also heavy. Dunir rahman. Okay. And then finally, when you're saying the ikhfa here, it sounds like the tip of the tongue is not at the makhraj of sad. When you're saying yang, it seems like you might be concentrating so much on what's going on at the back that the tip of the tongue is not actually close to the makhraj of the sad. Because when you start saying su, it sounds very independent. But it's supposed to be very kind of, it's supposed to be, if you're ready for the sad, it's a very smooth flow. Yang. you can go straight. But when you say it was like ya su, and then the su came after, very almost
Yes.
distinctly differently, right? So
Yeah.
let's try this. I'm going to start. I'm going to have to start from the beginning. Actually, for practice, no, I don't want to start from there. We'll just say this word, okay? Yansurukum.
Okay. Yansurukum.
Okay, so what I think what's happening here is you're at the moment you're only managing to focus on one thing. So either you're getting the back of the tongue right, or you're getting the front of the tongue right. Okay, so now you're getting the front right, and you've lost the back of the tongue, so your ikhfas become light. So keep the back of the tongue how it was. Just try to get the tip of the tongue a little bit more at the makhraj of sad. Yansurukum.
Yansurukum.
That's much better. That's much better. Well done. Now, let's try the whole thing again. أمن هذا الذي هو جند لكم ينصركم من دون الرحمن.
أمن هذا الذي هو جند لكم ينصركم من دون الرحمن.
Let's try the
Nir-Rahman.
Yes, but better to start from me. Maybe you don't want to start from the noon because it's breaking the word. Duni is one word. Min dunir rahman.
Min dunir rahman.
It's a bit better. I want you to move to the ha more slowly. Okay, so at the moment you're going quite quickly to the ha. So when I'm hearing you, I'm hearing dunir rah. Right? So your mouth moves very quickly into that light position. I want you to first say ra, ra, ra. Okay? Dunir rah, rah. Min dunir rahman.
Min dunir rahman.
Much better, much better. You slowed down, which was good. It worked for you. Alhamdulillah. So whenever you see a ra mushaddad, better to slow down. Alhamdulillah. That was good, mashallah. Allah bless you. Okay. Let's explain the next part, inshallah. And then we'll see if we can get some others of you to recite as well. So the next part, which is the bottom, we'll recite the whole thing again. So Sister Radiya, if I can get you to say this part, please. إن الكافرون إلا في غرور.
إن الكافرون إلا في sorry.
That's okay.
إن الكافرون إلا في غرور.
Better, alhamdulillah. Your ra can be a little bit heavier. Okay, so just make that extra, when you're saying, for example, ra, ri, ru, al-kafiruna.
Al-kafiruna.
That was much better. That was much better. And just be careful with illa. There is a word in Arabic which is also ila. Okay, there is ila. So ila, what you notice is the lam is not joined to the hamza. This is a different word. This means towards. Sister Zulaykha, alhamdulillah, has actually mentioned this to us before. Ila means towards. Okay, here, this one, when it is joint, when you say illa, has a different meaning. It means except. So if we don't hear the joining, you'll be pronouncing this word instead. So you have to be careful here. The shadda is important. Okay, so here, make sure you say il, hold the tawassut, then the la. Inil kafiruna illa fi ghurur.
إن الكافرون إلا في غرور.
Much better, alhamdulillah, well done. For those of you that do want to pay attention to your lams, you have the lam here, which is tawassut, and then the lam in illa, they both should be held the same. Inil kafiruna illa. Okay, both have the same. I've over-exaggerated. Sometimes I have a tendency when I'm teaching, I over-exaggerate some certain parts that I want to emphasize. But when we're reciting in, generally, then there shouldn't be that emphasizing. I shouldn't really be emphasizing. I just do it just to highlight. So I had to mention that. Okay, let's try, inshallah, Papa Ruxana, if you can try this ayah. إن الكافرون إلا في غرور.
إن الكافرون إلا في غرور.
MashaAllah, good, very good effort. Because you're getting ready for your ra here, the fa is being cut a little bit short, so I'm not hearing the completeness of the e, the fi. So I heard fe, so we'll try that one more time. إن الكافرون إلا في غرور.
إن الكافرون إلا في غرور.
Good, alhamdulillah. This ra we know is heavy because of the dhamma. This last ra, because we are stopping, we're following the same rule, sukoon, sukoon, and then we have a dhamma, so it's heavy. Okay, so both ras will be heavy when we are stopping. Papaji, just one other thing, I will make you say it one more time. I just want you to think about not saying ro, but ru. Okay, we'll try that again. Inil kafiruna illa fi ghurur.
إن الكافرون إلا في غرور.
Yes, alhamdulillah, that was better. Alhamdulillah. Okay, let's go back to the top, inshallah, and have a bit of a practice. So, Sister Hamera, if you can recite the first line, the top line with me, please. أَمَّنْ هَذَا الَّذِي هُوَ جُنْدٌ لَكُمْ يَنْصُرُكُم مِّن دُونِ الرَّحْمَنِ.
أَمَّنْ هَذَا الَّذِي هُوَ جُنْدٌ لَكُمْ يَنْصُرُكُم مِّن دُونِ الرَّحْمَنِ.
Okay. So the first one we say jundu, right? I want to hear the dhamma. I don't want to hear jun. Jun, jo, ju. You make sure you circle the lips when you say the ju. Start with the ju, then come back for the light ikhfa. Okay. Let's try. Huwa jundu lakum.
Huwa jundul lakum.
Much better. Well done. Alhamdulillah. Allah bless you. And for the next one, when you said yansurukum, I know the tip of the tongue wasn't touching the makhraj of sad, but another part of your tongue, further, maybe the middle or heading further a little bit back, was touching the top. So I was hearing like a yan instead of a yan.
Okay.
Remember, none of the tongue should be touching anything at the top. Yansurukum.
Yansurukum.
Again?
Yansurukum.
It's a bit better. Alhamdulillah. And then the next part, Jazakumullahu khairan. If I can get Sister Saira to read the last line with me, please. Inil kafiruna illa fi ghurur.
إن الكافرون إلا في غرور.
Yes, just remember the ra here, the very last one. I got a very small hint of it, but the ra is one of the letters. It is part of Lin Umar. Okay, it is a tawassut letter. So you got to stay on it just a little bit more and keep the sound running just a little bit. Illa fi ghurur.
إلا في غرور.
Yes, alhamdulillah, better. Okay, let's try now somebody else. Inshallah, Papa Ruxana, let's Papa Ruxana, let's try the top row. Don't worry if you run out of breath, just repeat the word and then carry on, inshallah. Okay. Remember, all of these opportunities that sisters are reciting is an opportunity for all of you at home to have a go. So please do join in, because this is the best way to improve your recitation, is to have a go. Okay. أَمَّنْ هَذَا الَّذِي هُوَ جُنْدٌ لَكُمْ يَنْصُرُكُم مِّن دُونِ الرَّحْمَنِ.
أمن هذا الذي هو جند لكم ينصركم من دون الرحمن.
Alhamdulillah. Not a bad effort, mashallah. Your ikhwas are good. The kaf makhraj was a little bit, again, remember we talked about the kaf, yes, making sure you let go and the tongue slides a little bit forward. And the lam, I will just want lighter. We'll do this one first, the lam. So remember, not too long on the lam. So you don't want the lam to stand out. Do lakum. See, lakum is too long. Do lakum. Lakum.
جند لكم.
Keep it lighter, Papaji. So when you let go, don't lift. When you let go of the makhraj, do it gently. جند لكم.
جند لكم.
Yeah, you're also raising your voice when you say lakum, right? Lakum. Try lakum on its own. Lakum.
لكم.
Lakum.
لكم.
جند لكم.
جند لكم.
Okay. And the other thing I want you to think about, Papaji, is the kaf. So we've had a kaf here as well. Lakum.
لكم.
So remember your tongue where it's touching at the top. I want you to bring it a little bit more forward and touch something a little bit in front of that where you're touching at the moment. Lakum.
لكم.
And then the sound, make it come forward outwards rather than dropping it back. Lakum.
لكم.
That's a bit better. Jazakumullah khairan. One more thing, Papaji, when you do say the ku, don't rush for the meme so quick. Say ku first, because you're saying kum, 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 going straight for the meme. I can hear the gunna very, very quickly. La ku, finish the u, la kum.
لكم.
That's a bit better. Yeah, keep practicing with this. At the moment, you're reciting it slowly, but slow is good. It just gives you that time to think. Okay, alhamdulillah, jazakumullah khairan. And very last one, Auntie Nasreen, Auntie Nasreen, if we can recite the very last line. Inil kafiruna illa fi ghurur.
Inil kafiruna illa fi ghurur.
Yes, don't forget the ras, the last ras were better. Al-kafiruna, and you don't need the ra just to be a little bit heavier. Inil kafiruna illa fi ghurur.
Inil kafiruna illa fi ghurur.
Jazakumullahu khairan. Just be careful, Auntie, when you do start again, you don't want to start from kafiruna because the al is joint. So whenever you do repeat this word, start from al at least.
Al-kafirun. Yeah.
Jazakumullahu khairan. Okay, alhamdulillah, we will stop there. Jazakumullahu khairan. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik. Nashhadu an la ilaha illa ant. Nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.